The year without summer. How a volcano changed the world. In April 1815, on the remote Indonesian island of Sumbawa, Mount Tambora unleashed one of the most catastrophic volcanic eruptions in recorded history. The explosion was so immense that it sent shockwaves through the atmosphere and altered the global climate, plunging the world into what became known as the year without summer. This event was more than just a meteorological anomaly. It transformed agriculture, society, and culture across the globe. Here, we delve into the fascinating story of how a single volcano reshaped the course of human history. The eruption of Mount Tambora. Mount Tambora stood as a towering stratovolcano, reaching over 13,000 feet before its fateful eruption. For weeks, the volcano had shown signs of activity. Earthquakes, rumblings, and ominous smoke rising from its summit. On April 5, 1815, Tambora erupted violently, but this was only a precursor to the cataclysmic explosion that followed 5 days later. On April 10th, the eruption reached its zenith. A colossal column of ash, pumice, and gases was ejected more than 25 miles into the stratosphere. The explosion was so powerful that it could be heard over 1,200 miles away, as far as Sumatra. Entire villages on Sumbawa and nearby islands were obliterated by pyroclastic flows and volcanic debris. It is estimated that at least 10,000 people perished immediately. The devastation extended far beyond the island. The eruption released an estimated 160 cubic kilometers of material, making it the largest volcanic eruption in over 2,000 years. The sheer volume of ash and aerosols ejected into the atmosphere created a veil that would soon encircle the Earth. The immediate aftermath on Sumbawa was a scene of apocalyptic destruction. The skies darkened as ash rained down for days, blanketing the landscape and choking rivers and vegetation. Survivors faced dire conditions. Crops were destroyed, water sources were contaminated, and famine loomed. Entire communities were displaced, and diseases began to spread among the weakened populations. The local devastation was a harbinger of the global catastrophe that would follow. The global climatic consequences. Tambora's eruption injected massive amounts of sulfur dioxide into the stratosphere. When combined with water vapor, this formed sulfate aerosols that reflected sunlight away from the Earth's surface. The result was a significant drop in global temperatures. By the summer of 1816, the effects were being felt worldwide. In Europe, unseasonably cold weather gripped the continent. Frosts were reported in June, and snow fell in July and August in parts of New England and Canada. Crops failed as summer temperatures dropped by as much as 5.4 degrees Fahrenheit, 3 degrees Celsius in some regions. The agricultural collapse led to widespread food shortages and skyrocketing grain prices. Asia was also heavily affected. The monsoon season was disrupted, causing devastating floods in China and widespread famine in India due to failed rice harvests. In North America, the eastern United States experienced what became known as 1800 and froze to death, as frosts and snowfalls destroyed crops and livestock. The climatic upheaval also disrupted ecosystems. In Europe, the cold and wet conditions led to an explosion of insect populations, including crop-destroying pests. This further exacerbated the agricultural crisis. Forests and grasslands were affected by the unusual weather patterns, leading to shifts in wildlife behavior and migration. The human toll. The immediate death toll of the eruption and its aftermath on Sumbawa and surrounding islands is estimated at around 71,000 people, primarily due to pyroclastic flows, tsunamis, and starvation. However, the long-term global death toll from famine and disease is believed to have been far higher. In Europe, food riots broke out in cities and towns. In Switzerland, desperate peasants resorted to eating grass and moss to survive. In Ireland, Already reeling from economic hardship, the potato crop failed, exacerbating the suffering. Typhus outbreaks swept through weakened populations, claiming tens of thousands of lives. North America faced similar challenges. New England farmers abandoned their lands and migrated westward in search of more stable climates. In Canada, communities struggled with widespread hunger and economic hardship. Indigenous populations, already marginalized and facing displacement, were particularly vulnerable to the food shortages and diseases that spread during this period. The famine and societal disruption caused by Tambora's eruption had far-reaching political consequences. Governments faced mounting pressure to address the crises, leading to policy changes in agricultural practices, trade, and public health. In some regions, social unrest and rebellion were fueled by the desperation of starving populations. Cultural and scientific impacts. Despite the widespread misery, the year without summer also spurred cultural and scientific innovation. In Switzerland, a group of writers, including Mary Shelley and Lord Byron, were trapped indoors by the incessant rain and gloom. During this time, Shelley began writing her masterpiece, Frankenstein, a tale that reflected the era's fascination with nature's power and unpredictability. The climate anomalies also inspired scientific inquiry. The unusual weather patterns were eventually linked to volcanic activity, laying the groundwork for modern climate science. Scholars began to understand the connection between atmospheric aerosols and global temperatures, a realization that remains crucial in today's study of climate change. Artists and poets of the time found inspiration in the dramatic skies created by Tambora's aerosols. The vivid sunsets and eerie atmospheric effects were immortalized in paintings by artists such as J.M. W. Turner. The event also influenced literature, with themes of darkness and despair appearing in works across Europe and North America. The legacy of Tambora. Mount Tambora's eruption serves as a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of natural and human systems. Its impact was felt in nearly every corner of the globe, demonstrating how a single event in one remote location can ripple through the entire world. The year without summer highlighted the fragility of human societies in the face of natural disasters. It underscored the importance of agricultural resilience, international cooperation, and scientific advancement in mitigating the effects of such events. Today, Tambora's story is studied as a case of volcanic risk, climate science, and societal adaptation. Its lessons are more relevant than ever as humanity grapples with the challenges of a changing climate and the possibility of future catastrophic events. The eruption has also prompted discussions about preparedness. Modern monitoring systems and international networks aim to detect and respond to volcanic activity before it can cause such widespread devastation. Understanding Tambora's impact helps us appreciate the delicate balance of Earth's climate system and the importance of proactive measures to protect vulnerable populations. The year without summer was a time of hardship and transformation. It was a year when the skies darkened, the temperatures plummeted, and humanity was forced to confront the power of nature. Yet, out of this darkness came resilience, innovation, and the enduring human spirit to adapt and survive. The lessons of Tambora's eruption remind us of the dynamic relationship between the Earth's natural forces and the societies that inhabit it, urging us to remain vigilant and prepared for the challenges ahead.